Hello friends, how you doing? Day 9:43. Hope you're doing amazing on this Canada Day long weekend. Uh, it is back for another Storytime Sunday. It's been a while. So I just thought I'd come in and just share with you a little bit about my journey from growing up in Canada. For those who don't know, I came to Canada when I was 1 year old, and growing up, English was the easier language for me. Obviously, when I was smaller, like a baby and a toddler, I was mainly Vietnamese because that's what my parents talked to me in. At the time, they didn't know any English, so they had to learn English while acclimating to the new country. And so, as a baby, I obviously knew Vietnamese, but as I probably got into, I thought we went to daycare, but probably elementary, kindergarten probably is when I start to speak mainly English. But as we grow older, my parents they didn't want us to lose the language, so they made it a point to talk to us only in Vietnamese. Especially when we got into our early teens. But when I was about 9 or 10 years old, no, nine, I think I was nine, and I was trying to remember. Yeah, I think I was nine, grade four, when I was living in Langley, and at the time there was a Vietnamese young gentleman. It's probably, I forget, probably his early 30s or late 20s. He decided to actually hold some Vietnamese classes for the children in the neighborhood, the Vietnamese children. And so when I actually went, he actually only had two 2 months of classes. Then I forget what happened. I think he had something come up and he had to leave, or he had to take care of that. I don't remember. I was too young, but I do remember learning the language. Sorry, not the language. The alphabet of the Vietnamese language, and also the accents. And so I had that base, if you will, the foundation, to understand. Oh, okay, the different accents. You say the letters a little bit differently, which also forms the word. So okay, so I had that, but I never really learned how to read. Obviously, like 2 months was Vietnamese school. Like, you're not gonna learn much, right? But luckily, my parents they prioritized us learning the language still and not forgetting it. So at home, the rule was we can only speak Vietnamese to them, basically. Of course, as kids, we still talk English to each other, but at home, we only spoke Vietnamese to our parents. And that, obviously, that didn't help them improve their English, but luckily, they started a tailor store. And so that kind of required them to learn a little bit of English at least. My dad learned English a lot quicker than my mom. My mom learned basic English to get by with being a tailor. And so into my teens, a lot of family get-togethers included karaoke. And so still, at this time, I'm like 15, 16, I still didn't know how to read or write Vietnamese. And not, to be honest, I never even thought about it. But, a lot of the Vietnamese songs I actually enjoyed listening to. So family be singing, I'm like, oh, cool. Pho Dang Dang Ma. Okay. Some oldies. And so we literally sit there and just listen to the song and just follow along. And the crazy thing, one day, just out of nowhere, this is not even intentional, but one day out of nowhere, I started reading the actual words instead of just following the colors for karaoke. I actually started to read the words, and it shocked the heck out of me. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm actually reading. I jumped up and I asked my dad, Dad, is this what this says? And my dad's like, oh my gosh, the boy knows how to read Vietnamese. That was like an epiphany moment for me. I was like, what the heck? I'm like, I'm actually reading Vietnamese. And so that's actually how I learned how to read Vietnamese. And so over time, I didn't want to just know how to read, but I want to learn a little bit more about how to write it as well. And so uh, I didn't take any classes, but I just kept reading and asking, some questions here and there, curious. But I didn't use it that much going into university and onwards. However, it's something that I always wanted to not lose. I find a lot of young Vietnamese who come over from Vietnam over the last couple of decades. They want to acclimate or assimilate into the Canadian culture, and a lot of times they actually choose to forget the language. Um, and again, no qualms about that. That's up to them, right? Obviously, they want to fit in. They want to feel like they belong. I get that, especially when you're young. You're trying to figure out what your identity is, right? So no shaming or nothing about that. However, I think it is a lost opportunity because if you know a language, man, it'd be man. Vietnamese say uống. What is it? A shame, I guess. A shame to lose it. It's wasteful. It's a waste to lose a language if you actually grew up speaking it, and especially if you knew how to read it and write it as well. And so that's just my thoughts. I definitely am appreciative that I was able to learn a little bit and actually still retain it and actually learn more. But at any time, you can actually choose to learn any language, and I don't care how old you are. Don't say, "Oh, I'm too old to learn." No, you can learn at any age. The question is it important to you? Is it a priority for you? Do you have a goal? Do you have a reason to actually learn it? If you do, then I think you have a great foundation to start. But it has to be important to you. But anyways, that's kind of how I learned, and so I'm just very grateful because I'm able to connect with other Vietnamese people a lot better through that, and actually make new friends from Vietnam on Facebook or on social media. People they don't know English, so they add me and they start talking. Like, oh hey, actually I can chat back and forth. It's my way of actually practicing Vietnamese. And so when I have new Vietnamese Facebook friends, and I always ask people, hey, if I don't know you before, most likely I'll ask, hey, thanks for the ad request. Do I know you somehow? And so that's another thing. If you friend request me, just quick say, hey, I just saw your profile on, suggested friends, so I added you. Okay, just give me a reason why you added me, so I know you're not like a scammer or a bot or whatever. Anyway, so whenever a new Vietnamese Facebook friend befriends me, I say, do I know you? And some don't know English, so I use that an opportunity to say hi and practice my Vietnamese writing or texting. Because again, if you don't use something, you're gonna lose it. And I was just reminded of that the other day, playing volleyball with my Filipino friends. I'm like, ah, crap, how do you say this? How do you say that? Ah! So whatever it is, you gotta use it, okay? Anyways, that's all I want to share, my friends. And hopefully, if you have children, that you want them to retain a certain language, hopefully this helps you. Or if you're younger and you keep it, you gotta practice it. You gotta know other people that speak the language, and you gotta practice it. Okay. Anyways, that's all I got for tonight. My gosh, next week's supposed to be a freaking very very warm, high 20s to low 30s Celsius, and so that's gonna be quite warm. So hopefully you guys just remember to stay hydrated, drink lots of water, and stay in the shade, and put SPF 15, 30, whatever if you're gonna be out. Have a great night, my friends, and happy long weekend. Bye.